Okay, I got a question for you, gang. How many of you were tested this weekend in your commitment? Wow. I was tested in more ways than I think I can even count. And you know what I realized is that I was tested far beyond just the limits, if you will, of my 90-day commitment to good health. Speaking of which, I have brought you along with me right now on my walk this morning. So no beauty queen contestants here, but I love that we can just be real and genuine with each other. So anyway, back to our conversation. I was having a talk with the Lord this morning, and it's funny. You know, we can use any form, and the devil, the evil inclination, the other side will use any form of temptation and noise possible to keep us from truly connecting and truly listening to what God is trying to tell us in life. And I have a habit of constantly doing, and I very rarely sit still and just listen. As the psalm says, be still and know that I am God. And so God himself, of course, has ways of getting us where he wants us. And so this morning I had planned, I have a 2-hour daily commute, just getting JD to school and back. It's 30 minutes each way, so I got to take him there, then I got to come back and pick him up. So I'm in the car for 2 hours a day. And when he and I are in the car together, we sing songs, and we actually use that time, we're learning a new language. And then typically in the hour that I am by myself, I'm either having coaching phone calls, or I'm listening to CDs and audios for personal and professional development. And this morning I drove off and left my phone at home, which has all of my CDs on it, obviously, and it also prevents me from making phone calls. So I had 30 minutes this morning in the car of silence. And so I thought, well, Lord, you've clearly got something that you want to tell me, and you want me to be silent enough. This is your way of shutting me up, to be still and listen. And that's exactly what happened. Is in the car this morning, God reminded me of a couple things. Number one, what it means to be bulletproof. And really that was what I was wanting to share with you today in our conversation about keeping a commitment. And we're going to curb that until my next recording to you. But that is going to be what I share with you next, is really what it means to keep a commitment, and how we keep our commitment, and how it really all relates back to our mindset. But the mindset is the conversation that I believe the Lord was sharing with me today, because it's all about attitude. You know, he said, Allison, you can give me everything else in life. You can give me your family. You can give me your future. You can give me your career. You can give me your money. You can give me all these things. But what's most important, what I really want, is your mindset. What I want is your attitude. Not just when it's convenient, not when things are going well, not when you're sharing with other people, but even when things aren't going well. You know, how easy is it for you to slip into scarcity mentality? How easy is it for you to start panicking? How easy is it for you to get stressed out, get worried, and get frustrated? And you know, the best way to gauge that is how much time of our day do we spend speaking negatively, complaining, worrying, being frustrated, you know, everything that we just mentioned. That really determines how much we believe that God wants what's best for us. That determines how much we have trust and have faith in the fact that he is only bringing good into our life. And even when it looks bad, we can't see the full picture. And here's the best way that I know to elaborate on this point, okay? I want you to imagine that there is a stream. Okay, you got a stream of water. You're out in the forest somewhere and there's a beautiful river and a stream, and you can look down through the stream and the water is so clear that the fish are going crazy, okay? And from your perspective, they're just swimming around, hopping around, jumping up and down, swimming all about, just being footloose and fancy free fish. And you're just thinking, oh, wouldn't it be so great to be a fish, have no other cares in the world but just to swim around in this beautiful water and enjoy the nature that God gave them? But then you go about 200 feet up the stream and you see that there are fishermen up there with nets and spears, and they are catching all of these fish and stripping them away from their home and taking them to eat and to sell. So in reality, what first looked like these fish were just dancing around and swimming around with joy, in reality, they were swimming for their lives to save themselves and to get away from the nets and the spears of these fishermen. So it all boils down to whether or not we have the full picture, whether we have the full perspective, whether we can see everything in the situation, or if we can only see what is right in front of us. So that was obviously a very overly simplified example, but we've got to have faith and we've got to trust that even though we can't see the full picture, God is giving us exactly what we need in that moment to weave all of the pieces of the tapestry together, whether it's to cause a domino effect of other events that will bring us to where we need to be, or whether it's to teach us a lesson, or, who knows why. We can never know. I mean, who can know the mind of God? What we can do, and all we are asked to do, is to trust and to have faith. And it's one thing to believe in God, that He is who He says He is. It's another thing entirely to believe God, to trust Him, and to have full faith that He wants only what is best for us. And that's not a cliche. All things work together for good. That's not a cliche. It's not just a cute little saying. It's real. It's real if we believe, and if we are bulletproof in our mindset, not just when things are going well. Okay, so how do we relate that back to our 90-day commitment? Okay, it doesn't mean that you keep your commitment to getting your full hours of sleep. For example, your 7 hours of sleep. That's my example, okay? It doesn't mean that I only get 7 hours of sleep if I don't have a lot to do on my to-do list, if something new doesn't pop up. It doesn't mean that I eat clean only until someone invites me to dinner, or only until my son wants something else to eat. It doesn't, there's so many examples of we've got to stop the if-then scenario. If our mindset is consistent, it all relates together of, do we really, really believe, and are we trusting in the big picture? Crazy how it all connects and how it all relates together. And tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about the mindset of bulletproof, okay?